y'all, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. So today I am going to talk to you guys about the aftermath of abortion. Today is the March for Life in Washington, D.C. So I thought, why not make this video today? If you haven't seen my abortion story video, I will leave a link below. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it first and then come back and watch this. My abortion was not a abortion where I didn't want to have a kid and I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna get an abortion. What happened was I had a baby that had severe birth defects who would not live outside the womb, supposedly. Now, granted, this was in 2003. There was a lot less research back then, but there was some. I actually went on the internet back then to find out if there was anything that could be done to help my baby. But I really couldn't find anything. I only found one article on what she had, and it was called acrania. It's apparently very, 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 very rare. So I had the abortion, and then, I went to therapy, began to heal. I ended up divorcing my husband at the time because he wouldn't get help. The abortion affected him so badly. I didn't really find out until after, well, it was like the day we separated, how much it affected him. He just wouldn't share it and he wouldn't tell me anything. He didn't share and he held all his pain inside. He actually has a tattoo now of her name on his arm. So I guess that is his way of dealing. I mean, like I said, in my other video, he could have dealt with it now, but I don't know if he did or not. So having an abortion led to us getting a divorce. It led to my two daughters that were older than the baby that I aborted having some really difficult times. My oldest daughter, the one that took care of me during the time after I got the abortion, she has always had a hard time with that because she was my caretaker. She shouldn't have been. As a 7-year-old, that shouldn't have been her job. But she's that way by nature anyway. She's actually gonna become a nurse, so it kind of makes sense. But it affected her a lot. Her little sister, who's now 16, almost 17, does not remember much about it except for that I was sad all the time is what she remembers. So it affected her in that way. Of course, they never got to meet their sister. In the very least, if we had let the pregnancy go as far as we could, then they would have gotten to hold her and meet her. And I mean, we all would have. It would have been sad, but it would have been a different kind of sadness, Another way that abortion affected people was my parents. My parents and family had to see me go through this devastation, and my friends too. I mean, I really had just like one or two friends back then, but they had to be there for me. I mean, they didn't have to, but they were. It affected them. It may even affect them to this day. I don't know. But my parents and my family, they've always taken care of me, and it was unnecessary. It was like there was no need for them to go through this too. It's like you're not just aborting the baby, killing a human, and you can't just think about how it's going to affect you for life, because I am sorry, if someone tells you it's not affecting them for life, even now, if it's many years later, they are not being truthful and honest. There is no way that murdering a person is not going to affect you in some way. I've been through an abortion like an abortion group where we talked about how it affected us. Not only that, we went through like a lot of stuff, but I was the only one in the group that had an abortion for the reasons that I had it. The rest of the ladies all had abortions because they wanted to. None of them said, oh, it didn't affect me. It affects everybody. It affects relationships. It affects your family. It affects your friends. It affects your life. Like I said, mine was in 2003. It affects me to this day. Sometimes I have to just take a deep breath and be like, I have to forgive myself again. And I've forgiven myself, but sometimes you have to do it again. There's no such thing as forgive and forget. That's bull. I'm sorry, it's bull. But forgiveness can be done every day, every minute, whatever you gotta do to forgive yourself. It affected my sex life. My sex life has been affected by several things I did. I was promiscuous and, watched porn. But the abortion, honestly, I think was the most violent thing that happened to my body. And it's affected my sex life. I'm in a good place now. But in the past, it's just like, it's hard for you to want to do that when something so horribly violent has been done to that area of your body. So with my abortion, I was given an IV and everything, but there were times when I would wake up and feel the doctor tugging and pulling and and then I'd fall back asleep, and then I would wake up again, and I heard the machine and the sucking, and it was just like I could feel it all going on down there in my VJ area and my lower stomach too. I could feel all the pulling and stuff. I have had to go through therapeutic measures to fix that. And it affected me for over 10 years after having it. A lot longer actually. 2003 is when this happened. 12 years. It affected my sex life for 12 years. That's terrible. I mean, I'm married. I should be having a good sex life, but things that you do when you're younger, you think, and now I'm getting over into the other stuff that I did. You think, oh, it's not going to affect me. Who cares? Blah, blah, blah. Let's have some fun. Bull crap. It affects you. I'm sorry. But as you get older, you're going to be like, oh, dang. Shouldn't have done that. Because now it's affecting me. Anyways, affected my sex life. It affected my ability to look at a baby for years and not feel excited for the baby, but yet, and the mother and the family and whoever, but to also feel full of regret and like, I could be doing that right now. I remember my ex-sister-in-law had her baby. We were pregnant at the same time. She had her baby a few months before my due date would have been. And I went to the hospital and I was holding her baby, and I was so happy because of the life in the room, the new life in the room, but I was hurting so bad because I would never have that with the baby I had been carrying. Another thing that it has affected is my husband, who I was not married to back then. He wasn't there with me, so it's hard for him to understand what it's like for me. So there were a couple times when we had arguments and, where I was trying to get him to understand, like, hey, this was a horrible time in my life. You weren't there with me to experience it. I need you to understand. And it's like, it doesn't work that way. He can't understand because he wasn't there. But had I not done that, there would be nothing for him to try and understand. And then another person that it affected is my youngest daughter, who I had after I had my abortion. She would only be that daughter, the one I aborted, we named her Charlize. She would be Charlize's half-sister. She wasn't around when all this happened. She wasn't, you know, I wasn't even with her dad yet. So the way it affects her is she will go around and say, "Mom, I miss Charlize." And at first I would be like, I mean, she was really little when she started. She would be like, I would be like, how does she know to miss her? She's so little. And then that was like, she wasn't even born when all that happened. But she will randomly just be like, "Mom, I miss her. I wish she was here. She's my sister. She would be 13, almost 13. We could play together." I mean, granted, the baby wouldn't have lived that long anyway, but I had to explain to her, and I think it was about a year ago, I explained to her exactly what I did and how it happened, and she felt sad for me. She just felt sad. She wasn't mad at me or anything. She craves that relationship that she will never have until we're all in heaven together. It's just another effect of that abortion. One of the biggest regrets from the abortion was that I didn't have enough money to get my daughter's body. The place I went said it was $500 for the abortion and another $1,000 if I wanted my child's body. Of course I wanted her body. I wanted to bury her body. I knew exactly where I wanted to take it. But $1,000. They wanted $1,000. I did not have $1,000. Nobody had $1,000 at that time. And what right was that of them to charge me $1,000 for my child's body? My child. That is one of the hardest things about this whole thing was I didn't get to bury her. There's no place where I can go and be like, my child is buried here. I can't go talk to her there. I mean, I know she's not there. She's there. But there's nothing I can do. I will never have her body. I found out just a couple of years ago that the place I went was really shady. They had got shut down and they just like abandoned shop. Basically, they abandoned the place. Everybody who worked there left the doors wide open and left all the files, all the medical records were just sitting there for anyone to enjoy. Luckily, a friend of mine found this out. They went and took all the medical records and turned them in. I am so thankful for that. Honestly, I wish I could see my medical records. I wish I could learn more about what they did with my daughter. There's so much that goes into this that affects you in so many ways. It's like, it's a lot. Anyways, there's probably 1,000 more things I could say, but this video can't go on that long. But I just want to let you guys know that there's always ramifications to abortion. There's always, side effects. There's just stuff that is going to haunt you or bother you for the rest of your life. Luckily, I have a relationship with God and Jesus, and I don't know where I would be if I didn't, honestly. I can talk to him anytime I want, and I can say I need you. I can cry out to him. It's the best relationship in my life, is my relationship with Jesus. So if you are thinking about getting an abortion or you're in a bad place, please look at the links below, and there is someone out there that can help you. Okay? Thank you for watching. Love y'all. Bye.